Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being out here. I wanted to give you all some updates on where we stand. I know we did not have the weekend that Atlantans had planned to have, that our residents, our businesses, our visitors. I know this was an eventful weekend with the two major water main breaks that occurred across our city. And so to our residents, what do you say? Oh, got all these microphones here. So to all of our citizens, we wanted to apologize for the weekend that had a lot of folks having to boil water and a lot of challenges throughout the weekend related to these water main breaks. We are laser focused on this problem, and my administration understands how critical water is for our lifeline in this city. And our crews are working nonstop to address the issue, as you see here. The water main break that occurred on James P. Brawley and Joseph Boone has been completed through multiple rounds of repairs on that aging piece of infrastructure. That was completed on Saturday evening, and we can get the details of exactly when, but that was completed late Saturday afternoon, early evening, and pressure came up and individuals were able to get more water. And now you see this repair that's taking place at 11th Street and West Peach Street. Our main priority is to restore water service to all residents and businesses, and please be assured that we are doing all that we can to provide you with that as well as updates as we go through this process. Right now, we have issued a state of emergency in the city of Atlanta, and that state of emergency allows us to advance quickly purchases that we need to make, services that we need to acquire, and also take on activities that we need to do in a very rapid fashion. So I've declared this a state of emergency at this time. The boil water advisory is still in effect as we work through the repair process right here at 11th Street and West Peach Street. Earlier this morning at around 1 a.m., we were able to start turning off the water. It took a long amount of time to turn off the water, but as you can see, we no longer have that large geyser gushing in the air as we've had for the last few days. So around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. or so, that water went all the way down. I was out here about 2:30 a.m. and it got to about halfway, about waist high. So it's all the way down now, and you can see that operators are in the hole fixing that. And that means that we have water temporarily turned off from 11th Street, this area from 10th Street to 12th Street, as well as West Peach Street to Peachtree Street. These few blocks right here, we have water turned off because they are doing these repairs. So as of this morning, you can see that the repairs are still ongoing and water is no longer gushing in the air. The pipe is being repaired. As we are focused on this area, we are also monitoring our entire infrastructure system to ensure that it is available to everyone. As you know, yesterday, there were some minor breaks that occurred. I was out at two of them, one at 1190 Atlantic Drive and another one at Euclid and North Avenue. Each of those were repaired within an hour to an hour and a half, routine, normal breaks, and we took care of those rapidly. The watershed department did what they do best, which is take care of those problems. Please monitor social media on the City of Atlanta social media and the City of Atlanta's website for more updates. And I want to thank you all for your patience. I want to thank the citizens of Atlanta for your patience. I want to thank the businesses and restaurants for honoring the boil water advisory. But also yesterday we had a full day of activities throughout the city. The world's busiest airport continued to work. 355,000 passengers. We had a soccer match, concerts, restaurants and businesses were operating yesterday. So thank you for your patience and thank you for working with us through this problem. And I really want to thank the men and women that are out here as operators working right now. Many of them, I saw them at 2:30 in the morning yesterday. I saw some of them at 4:30 in the morning Saturday night, which is Sunday morning. Same guys, rotating crews, and I can see them and talk to them, and they are very committed to fixing this and finishing the job. So I thank them for their dedication to all the men and women of the Atlanta Watershed Department, but also we work as a group project, and I want to turn it over to our COO Burks, and she
Certainly join the mayor in. Okay. Good morning. I certainly join the mayor in thanking our residents and businesses and our employees and contractors for the work that they have been doing. Many of you have seen what's been happening on site, but oftentimes you don't see what's happening off site. So I also want to thank our many departments within the city of Atlanta who have pulled together to support the Department of Watershed Management through this crisis. We have pulled in 14 of our city departments to open up our Joint Operations Center. We were there from 4 p.m. till 4 a.m., working the whole of city government in order to provide all of the support that was needed for this particular crisis. Even from helping our police department, helping to get the part here from Alabama by calling on our partners so that we go through traffic to get that part here as soon as possible, to our 311 operators working during non-operating hours, you name it, across city government, our departments came in, stood strong, and helped out in every kind of way behind the scenes for this particular crisis. And now, before we go forward, I'm going to turn it over to our Fire Chief Smith, who will talk more about the work that we have been doing around supporting our residents with water, doing check-ins around our hotels and businesses. So Fire Chief Smith, I'll turn it over to you.
Burks. Good morning, everyone. I just want to reassure you and the citizens that fire service in the city of Atlanta is uncompromised, and we are here and all fire stations operating at 100% capacity. I'd like to formally thank our mutual aid partners for providing water tankers to assist us in our times of need, and thank all public safety entities that are working with us, such as APD and Corrections. As the COO said, the fire department does not only respond to emergencies, but we are here in times of need. And with that, we have opened 2 additional fire stations to provide water to the citizens of Atlanta. Here in proximity to this location, it will be our fire station number 15, which is in Midtown, and our fire station 11, which is in Atlantic Station. And here shortly, we will be walking the streets, making sure that the citizens are prepared to have water and meet their needs. We ask you, though, if there are any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call 311 if you need some water, to find a location where you can get some. We ask that you be patient with us because we do run out and we are still running calls. But just reassure you that we will get restocked and those locations will be available. Our code enforcement officers also will be on the streets, and we will be targeting the businesses to ensure that they are in a posture to maintain during this space as best we can. And with that, I will turn it over to our police chief, Chief Sherbaugh.
Thank you, Chief Smith. Good morning, everyone. Just to reiterate the mayor's reassurance early, the police department remains fully activated and operating. We have not been impacted at all during this time of delivery of services. I do want to commend the men and women who have been working out of police facilities and precincts with the water disruption. When the mayor called for the mobilization of all city departments, we did activate our training section, which normally has Saturday and Sunday off. But those recruits and sworn members reported to duty. They began the delivery of water, the canvassing of neighborhoods, particularly of our senior citizens, and they have worked throughout the weekend and continue to work today. We will remain fully mobilized, using all of our resources within the police department to assist the effort you see behind us, supporting the men and women at the Department of Watershed Management as well as constituent services. I do want to thank our partners at the Georgia State Patrol. Yesterday, there was a vital piece of equipment needed for the repair behind us, and that equipment was in Alabama, which is a little bit of distance from our city. And I do want to thank Colonel Hitchens yesterday for arranging troopers to escort that piece here to the city limits, where your police department picked up that escort and brought that piece here. That is just one example of the work that is being done around the clock by many different facets of city government and our state partners to quickly mitigate this emergency. Please continue to use 311 for any water-related matters and 911 for emergencies. And again, thank you to the men and women of Atlanta Police Department for the extra hours and the exceptional work you've been doing all weekend. And now for our Commissioner of Department of Watershed Management, Al Wiggins.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. We've had an eventful weekend, but we've also made some significant accomplishments. At a very high level, I'd like to recap what has occurred over the weekend, starting with our incident at the intersection of James P. Brawley and Joseph E. Boone, where we had an event where 3 transmission lines intersected. at the point of the break, which caused us to have to disrupt service for the areas that receive water supply from those 3 lines. At that time, the mayor made a decision to conduct the repairs post to 5 o'clock when our daytime population increased, and for us to decrease the burden on our customers. When the repairs began, we took a little time to drain the lines because we didn't have as much demand on the system. I want you to understand that the area where the work was being conducted is a confined area, and the infrastructure and the design of the infrastructure was created 80 years ago. Although we've had ongoing projects over the years, the design of that particular infrastructure was created 80 years ago. So while we were there, we identified some inefficiencies in the design of that system. We made some real-time repairs with the design to prevent any future occurrences or leaks at that particular location. I can say that that location has been taken care of. All of the repairs have been completed, and all of our customers have been restored dating back to Sunday evening. So today we have a water main break similar to what we experienced at James P. Brawley and Joseph E. Boone, except we don't have as many transmission lines. However, we have 2 major lines that intersected. We had a difficult time interrupting water service to this particular location because the valve that would terminate service was directly under the geyser that you viewed over the weekend. So we had to come up with an alternative method to interrupt water supply. And with that method, we wanted to hyper-localize the repairs to prevent anyone from coming offline or being disconnected from water services unnecessarily. This morning at 7 o'clock, we were able to get into the hole after slowly reducing the pressure from our Hemp Hill plant, and also with some devices that we installed here locally. It was important that we took a slow approach to not cause additional damage to our infrastructure. We are pleased with the direction that the repairs are going now. We are, as you can see, excavating the site to facilitate the repairs. We have no reason to believe anything other than this will be a routine repair that we will have completed here soon. I'm happy to address any questions, should you have any, about the ongoing work here at West Peachtree and 11th Street. Yeah, so that's a great question. We have no reason to believe that there's a connection between the two. I want you to understand that we really have not had the opportunity to do a thorough inspection because we had so much water flow in this particular area. As we excavate this site, we will learn more. I'm not saying that there isn't a connection, but at this time, we do not have a reason to believe that there is.
Can you, and I don't know who the right person to ask this question is, but do you have any sense of how many high-rise buildings still do not have pressure in the city?
So we don't have that number, and please keep in mind the pressure fluctuates as we begin to make certain adjustments to the system, whether it's how we pressurize the system or actuate certain valves. That number fluctuates, but at this particular time, we do not have a number. But I will tell you that we've hyper-localized the repairs to prevent anyone from being disconnected from the system unnecessarily.
Because there are still buildings downtown that don't have enough pressure to open.
Yeah, so I want to be clear that there are buildings that still have pressure, and it may be that they have decided to not remain open based on their comfort level, but it's not always an indication that they do not have adequate pressure.
If these pipes are 80 years old and the average... When is it going to be turned back on? Okay, if these pipes are 80 years old and the average lifespan is 50, I mean, why haven't they been replaced on a wider scale before then? Is it a budgetary issue?
So no, that's a great question. And so there is infrastructure, whether it's a head wall or whether it's a main line that are at certain ages, but that doesn't mean that we have not done work. There's always ongoing work, especially when you have development in an area. We add new infrastructure, and the way we make determinations if we need to take on a larger project is we collect data, and if we see a series of breaks or repairs that are necessary, that's when we decide to take on the capital improvement project and to look at the subgrade infrastructure and make significant repairs from there.
When will the water be back on? Any estimated timeline?
Yeah, so in just simple, yes, sir. So in simple, the water will be back on when we facilitate the repairs. I want, and I can appreciate, yes, sir. If you can just allow me to.
Estimated timeline, 24 hours, 36, 72?
Sir, as I mentioned earlier, we cannot give you a definitive answer because we just began the inspection process. So we are working feverishly, as you can see.
To do if one of the high-rises catches on fire, what are your contingency plans?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. This way.